Welcome aboard. My name is Sharia, and you're listening to a brand new episode of the Aviation Files, the best podcast for all aviation enthusiasts. I know it's been a while since I've been on this show, and I just want to say that I apologize for my absence. It's been a very busy year, but I hope to be back, and I hope to keep reporting aviation news for you guys. So, in today's episode, we will cover the FAA looking towards the gaming community to solve the air traffic controller shortage, and how potential Middle East ceasefires or deals could radically shift global flight paths, a new study detailing the physiological risks for elderly passengers on long-haul flights, and United Airlines' plan to unbundle its premium cabins with a new base fare for Polaris and Premium Plus. So without further ado, let's begin. The Federal Aviation Administration is currently grappling with a critical and persistent shortage of air traffic controllers, a crisis that has led to increased flight delays, mandatory overtime, and heightened concerns regarding controller fatigue. To address this, the agency is beginning to look beyond traditional recruitment pools and is setting its sights on a demographic already known for high-level multitasking, the gaming community. This unconventional approach is rooted in the idea that the cognitive demands of modern air traffic control, managing complex data streams, 3D spatial awareness, and split-second decision-making, are remarkably similar to the skills developed by elite gamers. Recent discussions within the FAA and the Department of Transportation suggest that individuals proficient in complex real-time and strategy games or high-fidelity flight simulators possess the innate abilities required for the job. Unlike traditional candidates who may struggle with the intense mental load of a radar screen, gamers often are habituated to processing rapid-fire information while remaining calm under pressure. The agency is now looking into overhauling its aptitude testing to better identify these traits in applicants early on, potentially reducing the high washout rate currently seen in the FAA Academy in Oklahoma City. However, the transition from a gaming chair to a controller's console is not without its hurdles. Critics point out that while the cognitive overlap is there, the real-world stakes of handling hundreds of lives in a Boeing 777 are vastly different from a game-over screen. To bridge this gap, the FAA is considering more immersive, simulation-based training modules that mirror the interactive environments gamers are used to. This strategy isn't just about filling seats, it's about modernizing the entire pipeline for an industry that has seen its workforce age out faster than it can be replaced. As the FAA moves forward with this initiative, it signals a significant shift in how the aviation industry views talent. By acknowledging that the hours spent in a virtual cockpit or a strategy map are a form of cognitive training, the agency is opening the door for a new generation of controllers. If successful, this could provide a sustainable solution to the staffing bottlenecks that have placed major hubs like New York and Florida under a lot of stress, ensuring the safety and efficiency of the national airspace system for years to come. Now, let's get into geopolitics a little bit. The geopolitical landscape of the Middle East has always played a pivotal role in global aviation, acting as a bridge between Europe, Asia, and Africa. However, ongoing conflicts have turned the region's airspace into a restricted and expensive jigsaw puzzle. Currently, many international carriers are forced to fly long, inefficient detours to avoid high-risk zones over Israel, Lebanon, and parts of the Red Sea. These reroutings add significant time to journeys and cost airlines millions in extra fuel, costs that are eventually passed down to the consumer in the form of higher ticket prices. With talks of a potential ceasefire or de-escalation in the region, aviation analysts are beginning to map out how a return to normalcy would impact the global skyway. A ceasefire would likely lead to the reopening of more direct air corridors that have been effectively dark to most Western and regional carriers for months. For major Middle Eastern giants like Emirates, Qatar Airways, and Etihad, this would allow for a return to optimal Great Circle routes, significantly cutting down the flight time for ultra-long haul services connecting the East and West. However, people are worried that the situation in the Middle East is dynamic, and it's not always constant whether a ceasefire is going to remain or even be adhered to by the countries involved. And so that is also a concern that analysts are considering. The economic ripple effects of such a shift would be massive. Beyond just fuel savings, the stabilization of the region would likely lead to a surge in demand for tourism and business travel to hubs like Tel Aviv, Amman, and Cairo. Furthermore, it would alleviate the strain on overflow airspace in Turkey and Egypt, which has become increasingly congested as pilots squeeze through the few remaining safe passages. The reopening of these skies would not only improve airline profitability, but also reduce the carbon footprint of global aviation by limiting thousands of miles of unnecessary flight distance. However, the road to recovery is often slow. Even after a conflict ends, aviation regulators and insurance companies are often hesitant to clear airspace immediately. requiring rigorous safety assessments. We've seen this before in other conflict zones where the shadow of no-fly zones lingers longer than the actual fighting on the ground. Nevertheless, the prospect of a more open Middle Eastern sky remains a primary focus for the International Air Transporters Association, as it represents the single most important factor in restoring the efficiency of the global aviation network. Now, let's talk about health in the cabin. As air travel becomes more accessible and the baby boomer generation continues to travel well into their retirement, the demographics of the flying public are shifting. This trend has prompted a new comprehensive study into the physiological impacts of long-haul flights on elderly passengers. While modern cabins are pressurized and comfortable, the study suggests that the unique environment of an aircraft characterized by lower oxygen saturation and low humidity can pose silent but significant risks to older travelers, particularly those with underlying health issues. The research indicates that the slight drop in oxygen levels at a cabin altitude of 6,000 to 8,000 feet can place an unexpected stress on the cardiovascular systems of seniors. This can lead to exacerbated symptoms for those with heart disease or respiratory conditions like COPD. Furthermore, the immobility required for flights lasting 10 hours or more significantly increases the risk of deep vein thrombosis, often referred to as economy class syndrome. For elderly passengers whose circulation may be compromised, the consequences of a blood clot can be fatal if not identified immediately. The study also calls for airlines to reconsider their in-flight medical kits and crew training. Currently, most cabin crew are trained for general emergencies, but the subtle signs of a senior in distress, such as confusion or mild hypoxia, can easily be mistaken for simple fatigue or jet lag. The researchers advocate for more proactive measures, such as enhanced medical screening at the time of booking for passengers over a certain age, and more frequent quote-unquote wellness checks by crew members during ultra-long-haul flights. For passengers themselves, the study emphasized the importance of pre-flight prep. This includes staying hydrated, wearing compression socks, and performing seated exercise to maintain blood flow, as well as walking around the cabin to make sure you're getting a bit of movement in. As the industry pushes towards even longer flights, such as Qantas's Project Sunrise, the health of the aging traveler is becoming a central point of discussion. Ensuring that the joy of travel remains safe for all ages will require a combined effort from medical professionals, airlines, and the travelers themselves. Finally, United Airlines is reportedly exploring a major shift in how it sells its most expensive seats, moving toward a model that could unbundle the luxury experience. Following the success of basic economy in the back of the plane, United is considering a base fare for its Polaris Business Class and Premium Plus cabins. For decades, the business class ticket was an all-inclusive pass to a premium world. Lounge access, multiple checked bags, priority boarding, and flexible ticket changes. This new proposal suggests that in the future you might be able to buy the seat without the extra glamour. This strategy is part of United's Jet Forward initiative, aimed at maximizing revenue by catering to a new segment of travelers, the premium leisure flyer. These are individuals who are willing to pay out of their own pocket for the physical comfort of a lie flat bed to ensure a good night's sleep, but who may not value the pre-flight champagne in the lounge or the ability to check 3 suitcases. By stripping away these perks, United can offer a lower entry-level price for its best seats, potentially stealing customers away from competitors or enticing passengers to upgrade from economy. However, the base premium fare comes with significant trade-offs. Passengers booking these tickets would likely find themselves in the same high-end Polaris seat, but without the ability to access the exclusive Polaris lounges, which are often cited as the best part of the United experience. Furthermore, these fares would likely be non-refundable and offer no complimentary seat selection until check-in. This move is a clear attempt to segment the market further, ensuring that corporate travelers with high-end budgets continue to pay full price for the total experience, while budget-conscious luxury seekers fill the remaining seats. The introduction of such a fare would mark a historic change in how major U.S. carriers viewed their premium products. While some fear it could cheapen the brand, others see it as a necessary evolution in a competitive market. As airlines look for every possible way to increase their EBIT margins, the unbundling of the business class cabin may soon become the industry standard. For travelers, it means more choice, but it also requires reading the fine print more carefully than ever before to know exactly what is included in that expensive ticket. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found these deep dives into the changing world of aviation as fascinating as I did. Do make sure to support my podcast however you can and check out my Instagram at The Aviation Files for more fun and exciting aviation updates, photos from my latest trips, and more. Until next time.